Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the special NFL draft edition. It is April 28th and it's draft day and we're trying to get it in. We got all these wonderful people. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening here for the draft. And of course, this special edition, we love having you all over the world. Hey fellas, how's it going?
Hey, Malcolm.
Pretty sad, to be honest with you.
What's wrong here? What's wrong, man?
The intro music came on, and I'm feeling it, and I'm so old and stiff. My head is just bobbling left and right, and I got no movement. I couldn't dance when I was a kid, and I can't dance now as an old man. Boy, talk about some depressive pills I need. But I'm okay.
Question, could you ever dance, bro?
No,
never.
Never.
Wow, man. I had a little rhythm and a little pep in my step.
We used to do a little, coming from the Baptist church, we would, choir anniversary, we would march and, and every choir from different churches would have these fancy little steps when they would have their choir anniversary.
Yeah, the old shimmy. The shimmy when they come out.
So my nickname was Brother. So when we would march in, everybody could be on step except for me. And the church people would just go, "That's all right, brother. You trying. You just keep on trying."
They would just keep his confidence so high.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And the person
was there.
And you know what's the beauty of it right now that I think about it? Thank God there was no cell phones back then, because they would have put me right out there.
Oh, you'd have been on blast, bro.
And our person that's not here, Emerson, he'd be the one to put on the show.
That big dancing bear. He is so soft on his feet. He could dance.
The man's gifted.
We're out in the club, and I'm trying to dance. I'm really trying. And he's over there and he's like, "Hey," doing all of this and twirling around saying, "Hey, Gord, look at me." Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
That ain't great. Now I'm depressed. Okay. Terry, tell me about that subscribe button, please.
Yes, sir. Exo Sports would like to thank all our viewers and listeners for their support. We are streaming on all media and podcast platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button and slap that notification bell. So you can be notified when we come on the air.
Will Smith.
Sorry.
Chris Rock.
I thought I was at the Oscars. I had a flashback. Sorry about that. You can also join in on tonight's discussion by calling the number at the bottom of your screen. For those of you listening in, you can call 475-221-5006. Thanks for all your support and welcome to the show.
Welcome everybody. Welcome. You. And T, keep subscribing about my mom.
This is episode 49.
Yes, it is.
And the big episode 50 is next week. And hopefully we'll have the whole gang here for it.
Wow, 50. Wow.
Yeah. But on episode 49, while the show is going, the NFL draft is going on.
Yes.
But before we go to the NFL draft, we need to talk about what do you say about Kyrie Irving after game 3? Brian.
Well, I guess first thing I got to do is got to play the clip that I heard from when he was interviewing after the game.
But I don't have a lot of answers for how you make up time, from October until now when, usually teams would be gelling and things would be feeling good. You could put it on me in terms of playing better, controlling the game better, controlling our possessions, being more in the stance, not turning the ball over as much.
What does that say? Who you want to go first?
Let's go with. I'm going to go with Malcolm. I'm going to be nice about it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. See, listen, and we said this in the beginning, these guys are superior athletes and they're great athletes. They shouldn't be injecting anything in their body. So we all said, hey, I understand when it comes to the vaccination, but your team is your team, okay? If they're getting it done, as you can see, the Yankees all got it done because they got to go to Toronto next week. And if you didn't hear the word, Big A, they already said all the Yankees are vaccinated. So you ain't got to worry about nobody going up there. They got all vaccinations. I understand his beliefs and all that. You don't want to just inject anything in your body. But your team suffered from it because they couldn't gel with you on the road or at home. It was back and forth. And we know that Kyrie's one of the best point guards in the league with his handle and his finish. One of the best finishers I've seen in the game. My thing is, you got to look in the mirror and blame yourself. Nobody else to blame but yourself. Hey, Kevin Durant got the vaccine. I ain't saying you have to do everything Kevin Durant do, but Kevin Durant's a baller, and he does what it takes to win. You know what I mean? So each his own. Did he disappear? Yeah, Boston locked him down a little bit. They shook him, and I never think I see him get shook, but he did his thing for the most part, but it wasn't enough because Boston played that team defense. They did their homework. Hey, look out for Boston and Tatum. Tatum's awesome. I'm telling you right now.
Terry.
I just think he should have sometimes you just got to let well enough alone. Don't know where he was going with that comment. Not sure why he said it. He just stated the obvious. We all know he wasn't there. We all know that the games that he did play, was it enough time for them to completely gel? No, but we all knew that. I'm not taking anything away from Kyrie's talent, but that's something that everybody knew didn't need to be said by him. And really just, to me, it kind of put a spotlight on him unnecessarily, but it kind of put a spotlight on the team as well, which you don't need those distractions, not during the playoffs. So, just gotta leave it alone, Kyrie. Just play your game, man.
Brian.
Well, it's definitely he's a big part of the blame. And he's going to talk about chemistry. Yeah, you got to have chemistry, and he wasn't there to help build that chemistry. Reasons why, that's up to him. But if you're going to say that, you got to own up to it. And as for KD or the Nets organization, or not even the organizations, the players, they have to determine on the floor who team this is. Somebody has to be the outspoken one for the team. Whether it's going to be KD or Kyrie, that's up for them to figure out. But if KD is giving you 100% out there on the floor in the organization, you got to have your other players follow along. And if they don't, then you just got to kind of be outspoken and kind of put it out there that, we either going to move on or we're going to do this. But you can't be kind of the way he was. He was kind of on the fence. And when this whole thing was put together, everybody automatically thought they was either going to the championship or they would be at the championship. But to get swept was another thing. And I think KD needs to speak up and be the leader on that team, the vocal leader, not the point leader or, the stat leader. He needs to be the vocal leader and say, this is my team. That's what he has to do, basically. And the way they did the whole Ben Simmons thing was a complete mess. Talking about either he's going to come back or not going to come back. And to even suggest for him to come back in a game 4 of elimination game was crazy. It was ludicrous. If he has issues or if he's injured, either way, it wasn't a good situation. So the organization got to take blame for that. So the Nets just got to figure it out because they're basically bringing back that same team.
Can I say something, brothers? I'm glad you said that. See, what people don't realize when you put these super teams together, just because you put two household names together, don't mean you're going to win. If your bench ain't about it, ask LeBron James. If your bench ain't about it and the fakers, you ain't getting nowhere because you need more than 2 or 3 people. You need a team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, if you all ain't pulling together at least 8 deep, 9 to 8 deep, and they're actually quality players, it's done. It's done. I'm telling you right now. So they're seeing what reality is about. When they ain't got that bench and all that, they traded Harden away. They try to get Harden in. And like I said, Ben Simmons is going to let them down too next year. We'll see. You'll see it just like everybody else see it. They'll have a great regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, they'll be eliminated. And by the way, the Nets are hamstrung because if they don't sign Kyrie because he got an option year right now, they don't sign him, there's no free agents going there. I'm letting you know that now. No free agents. I already said, if you ain't paying that man, you ain't going to pay us. Why should I go there?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this. Sometimes certain people don't need to talk during an interview, and he's one of them. And before he goes in to do an interview, his agent should pull him over to the side and say, okay, Kyrie, what's going through your mind right now? Because if I'm the Nets, after listening to the nonsense that he said, I would say, okay, you're out of here. But I'm gonna sign you. And then when February comes, I'm gonna trade you. Because you can't count on him. You're talking about this is what, third team?
Yeah.
No, you came to Brooklyn and you said, you know what, I want to win. Oh no, I don't want to get the COVID shot. Okay, but some of the things that come out of your mouth, I'm saying to myself, did you really think about this first, or are you just talking off the top of your head? So yeah. The Nets are in a bind because he can opt out. So I would go ahead and sign him. And then come February, I would get rid of him. I would trade him. He's not committed to winning.
No trade clause, bro, again.
It's going to be tough to trade him.
Yeah.
There's always some team in the NBA that will take a player.
Just say it's stupid enough to take him.
This is he's kind of opened up a different way because you talking about he's not really playing a full season. Even before the COVID, he's not playing a full season. So now I don't know if you want that back, and you have to give him a long-term contract.
Well, to me, the Nets, they already showed their hand, right? Because they said no vaccine, you can't play.
Yep.
Then they made the concession. Oh, well, you could play at away games. So to me, they took a hard stance in the beginning, but they caved. So to me, Kyrie's in control of the whole situation.
That was a state, Terry.
That was a state. That wasn't a Nets. That was a state of New York.
No, he's talking about he couldn't play at all.
At first, they said if you don't get the vaccine, you can't play at all.
Yeah.
Then they made the exception. Oh, well, you can play when we go on the road, you could play.
Yeah.
Well, that's because of different states have different laws.
Oh, yeah.
COVID.
But he talking about the organization, though.
They came out. The organization came out.
Yeah.
Initially, and said if you don't get the vaccine, you can't play.
Yeah, they didn't.
And then they changed their stance.
Yep.
And you know why they changed their stance? Because their attorney told them that ain't going to fly in every state. You can lose that in arbitration.
I don't think so. Because there's still players that couldn't play in like Toronto. Like
Toronto is a country.
Well,
yeah,
Toronto's a country. They're not playing that. Like how they did the Toronto Blue Jays. They told the Toronto Blue Jays, get your team and get out of here. You can go down and play in New York. And that's where they sent him.
So you telling me you think if they didn't let him play but still paid him because he was getting paid anyway, and they just told him to stay away?
I'm talking about Toronto first.
No, I'm talking about the Nets.
The Nets, you got to remember, in New York, it was already locked and sealed. The state said, if you're not vaccinated, you can't come to work.
But why didn't they let them play away games early in the season then?
They took that stand.
Yeah,
but then,
that's what I'm saying.
Right, but then after a while, every state started breaking off doing their own thing. Now it's up to, you don't want to go and face an arbitrator, and the arbitrators say you're wrong for holding up the money.
He was getting paid anyway, even if he didn't go. So it was no money being held up.
And that was their fault.
Yeah, to me, they caved in, and I feel like Kyrie's in control of the situation, not them.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I would sign him and trade him.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be that easy.
Right now, I'm comparing it to like the real estate market in the Northeast. It's a seller's market right now. Right now, the players have the control. LeBron James taught these boys how to take control of your own destiny, and they doing it. You got the Davises who said, I'm not going to play if you don't trade me. You got the Kyrie, I'm not going to play if you don't trade me. There's a theme here. Notice that. Somebody that played with LeBron. It is what it is. My point is, these kids, they have the leverage over the owners now, and they know it. If you're a superstar basketball athlete, they can't control you because they said, if we don't trade you, we don't get nothing for you. We can't let you go and just walk, you know? And we're going to get nothing out of it. Next thing you know, our stores in Cleveland, when LeBron first left Cleveland, those stores were vacant. The floor seats weren't being bought. They burned LeBron jersey, but they wasn't buying no floor seats and stuff. If you committed to the team, you should be committed to the team. And all that stuff. So all the stores were closing up. They wasn't making the money. The minute LeBron came back, all the money came back to the city.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
True.
See, LA, you don't have to worry about that because LA money's just meeting their money. You know what I'm saying? New York Knicks, James Dolan don't have to worry about that because John McEnroe and all those superstar celebrities, Denzel Washington, all them, they don't care. They'll spend $100,000 for their ticket or $200,000 and they ain't got to go because they still own that seat on the floor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Spike Lee's of the world. But Spike Lee's a true fan, so I can't beat that up. He goes whether they stink or not. So the key is the players have control. Just like the real estate up here in the Northeast, the sellers have the control because they got people outbidding each other. My boy who put down a deposit, not deposit, he put a bid in, and somebody from out of state came in and outbid him by 30,000. Not 10,000, not 5,000, 30,000. Said, give me that house. So it is what it is.
Yep.
Good talk, guys, on Kyrie and the Nets. But
yeah,
all jokes aside, I've got a Brooklyn bridge to sell you, and it comes with the Brooklyn Nets. Anybody interested?
Ooh,
No.
Yo, give me a detour on that bridge.
I'll throw in a dryer.
Nah, that's okay. That's okay.
Guys, let's
that bridge.
Let's talk about the Nets. Swept in 4 games. Terry.
I didn't see it coming. I don't think anybody saw a sweep coming. I know a lot of people are kind of being tough on the Nets right now, especially on a Nets team that has Kevin Durant on their starting 5. But you know what? Thinking about it, sometimes teams just have your number, and that's exactly what Boston had. They just had the Nets number this year. Not only did they sweep them in this playoff series, but they also swept them in their head-to-head matchup during the regular season. Well, they didn't sweep them, but they beat them 3-1. And they won the 3 games that they won by an average of, I think, 20 something points. you have to give the Celtics credit. Tatum defended Durant well. The Celtics, they had a good defensive scheme. They were constantly throwing bodies at Durant. They didn't let Durant get to that mid elbow. And if he did, you had two bodies on him. They didn't let Kyrie even get mid-range or in the paint without being heavily contested. Mm-hmm. One thing that I will say about this series, the referees let them play physical. I saw a lot of times where Durant or Kyrie were trying to come off screens to get to the ball. They were constantly being bumped, pushed. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see if they let that play go on when the Celtics face Milwaukee in the next series. But, going into next year, I think Brooklyn's going to have a lot more movement to their offense because it did seem to me that there was a lot of one-on-one basketball being played, and you can't do that against a good defensive team like the Celtics. And to me, that's how Kevin Durant kind of thrived in a system like Golden State, where there was a lot of movement, where he wasn't really getting the ball and going one-on-one. But again, give credit to Tatum and the Celtics. Tatum played like a superstar, and they shut down two of the league's best scorers in Durant and Kyrie Irving. So that's my take.
Yippee-ki-yay. Malcolm.
It's easy to play. Speaking of Kevin Durant, it's easy to play when you got two super all-star shooters on your team, and they worried about Klay Thompson, and they're worried about one of the best shooters of all time in the history of NBA basketball, and Steph Curry, my man. Jesus, he's just a shooter, man. That kid is awesome. So it's easy for you to sit on the side and wait for the ball and just let it go and pull up for that 18-footer. Now you got the advantage over everybody because they're too busy worried about the other two, Wardell and Klay. Like I said, all that glitter and gold, you know what I mean? Just because you thought you could run your own team, see how it is to work for it. Hey, they already built the team in a championship in Golden State. You were just a great addition. He was an excellent addition where, like you said, they had to just make it look good. And he didn't have to play no defense on that team. The defense was just Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. They played what they played. Not only that, they outshot you anyway. The key is with the Nets, he has to work.
Yeah,
that was the key. Everything was work. Tatum was in his butt. Jalen was in his butt. Everybody who had a green and white jersey on was no matter what, let's get on him and not let Kevin Durant kill us. He didn't, and that's what you get. Kyrie, they said, let Kyrie score his 25, 30, or do what he did. But they said, KD's not going to kill us.
Yep.
And he didn't. The key is they did their homework. Kudos to the coaching staff of the Celtics, and Tatum is a beast. He's a future superstar, and I'm going to say it right now, that kid's a Hall of Famer. You heard it here first. That kid Tatum is for real.
Wow, this is interesting. Brian.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say same thing. Malcolm was just saying that kudos to the coach. He definitely outcoached Steve Nash. Something that Kyrie and both Kevin Durant has said. Kyrie mentioned beginning of the season, we don't need a coach. We know what to do. And then the next in the playoff series, he was like, I don't have any answers. I don't know what to do. I don't know what we can do. Durant says something in early season as well. He didn't like the motion offense that Golden State used to run. He liked more of the ISO. As Malcolm was saying, now you got to work for your points.
Yes.
So you're absolutely right, Malcolm. So he wasn't getting those easy buckets. I know that motion offense probably look good to him now. So, but that's the best defensive game plan I've seen against the Nets of any team. They shut them down. And I'm going to say shut them down because they still going to get their points, and they did. But they didn't panic when your Bruce Browns and Claxton, those guys, they was like, nope, we just going to stay the course, keep doing what we're doing. And it just showed. That it was better coaching. And to me, Steve Nash should take a hit for this. And me and Terry had talked about this. He's come out of that D'Antoni system where there isn't much coaching involved. It's pretty much pick and roll ISO. That's it.
Shoot.
Yep, and that's it.
No defense.
And they ain't play no defense. So it came back and it bit him. Got out coach. Will he take the heat? Will he be fired? That's to be determined.
Yeah, it's only his second year.
Can I say something? Kobe and Shaq didn't win until Phil Jackson got there. He taught them how to win. Were they great individual players before Phil Jackson got there? Of course they were. It was ISO this and ISO that. Once he taught them that triangle and taught them how to move the ball, you had Rick Fox. You had my man, the guard and the lefty who stole my man's wife.
Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher. They was knocking shots down. They had a great bench and they played team basketball.
Yep.
Team basketball gonna get it. Listen.
Yep.
Kobe learned how to play. Listen, Kobe was already great. We already know that. Kobe was already came in from high school, was already the talent, and he had the goods. Shaq was already dominant, okay? Before he came to the Lakers, he was dominant. The key is he didn't know how to win. Phil Jackson taught them how to win.
Yep.
That's the key. He taught them how to win. Without the Nets getting a coach to teach them how to win, Steve Nash don't know how to win.
But
I got a question. Steve Nash got a championship somewhere I don't know about?
Yep.
Well, well, here's the thing, Malcolm. What you're saying is totally right, 100%. But one thing with Kyrie to me is this. Sometimes you can't teach a hard-headed person something who doesn't want to learn.
Anybody who comes up and make that comment lets you know that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't, because I got my championship ring, there's nothing new that you can teach me. We know what to do.
Yep.
Okay. Now you just ran into a buzzsaw with a team that didn't have a championship and they just mowed you down.
Yep.
And then you turn and say, "Oh, look at the coaching staff because we don't know what to do."
Yep. And I remember Kobe made a comment. This is when James Harden was in Houston, and he was having like an MVP year. And Kobe had said that he'll never win a championship playing that type of style. That just ISO, dribble, shoot. You know, like you never win a championship like that. And that just goes to show.
Yeah, says a lot.
Yeah. Guys, Hawks and Heat. Terry.
Before I comment, I just want to give a shout out to Debbie Gamble, who's in the chat.
Debbie,
What's up, Deb?
thank you for
What's
joining
up,
again. What's up, Deb?
Shout out to Phil Dixon, who's in the chat again
Phil.
tonight.
Yo.
Thank you for joining us, Phil. Great job.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
See that hoodie in the background?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Get you one of them, man.
Yeah.
Get you some swag, man. Get you some swagoo. But Hawks, to me, this series just showed that they're still a young team, and they're just not at the point where they could be considered an elite team in the Eastern Conference. We already know who the elite teams are. Your Bostons, your Milwaukee's. I have to throw the Nets in there as well. The Bulls. They're just not ready. Especially like you look at last year, and I know there's somebody's gonna get on me for this and laugh at me, but it was kind of a surprise when they beat the Knicks last year. I think a lot of New York fans and some people that weren't New York fans were kind of surprised that the Hawks came in and did what they did to the Knicks. But this year they had the spotlight on them. They went up against a really good defensive team, right? Well-coached team. Eric Spoelstra coming from that Pat Riley system. They held Trae Young to 12 points in the game. Was that last night or the other night? He had 6 turnovers. And this is in a closeout game with no Kyle Lowry or Jimmy Butler on the floor. Just looking at that game, I didn't realize how deep the Heat's bench is, and it's really deep. And Victor Oladipo came out and showed that he still has it. He ended up with like 23 points in a closeout game. So if they can stay healthy or get healthy, they're going to be a problem for wherever they face the rest of the way in these playoffs. So kudos to the Heat.
Yep. Malcolm. Didn't want to put you to sleep.
I'm sorry. What was it again? We're talking about the Hawks, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see the Hawks beating them anyway. And thank you, brother T, for saying what I was thinking. I mean, it may be a little biased because I'm a Knicks fan. They shouldn't have got past the Knicks, but they did their job and they made it past actually 2 rounds. They made it to the conference final. Am I right?
Yeah.
And they played great ball. They gelled at the right time. Can't beat that. Timing is everything. And they played good defense and they had timely shooting. Like you said, you shut down Trey, you shut down them.
We lose Malcolm.
Oh,
Rozo.
he'll be back.
We lost you, Malcolm.
Brian.
Man down.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I hate. Yeah. My thing is, I knew they were going to get, I ain't say eliminated totally, but it is what it is. I mean, they're a good team, but they basically died down in the standings, just like the Knicks did, because the Knicks were the 4th seed last year, and they had an outstanding year. Too bad that Julius Randle left-hand shot was broke. They needed to shoot from the right hand by that time. So it wasn't helping us because that left hand was broke, literally. The key is I didn't see them doing it because Nate McMillan pulled that team up when they had nothing to lose. So it is what it is. They had their run. They need a lot more work. So,
yeah.
Not surprised.
Mm-hmm. Brian.
And they just wasn't in that class defensively, the Hawks, to face Miami. If they would have faced the Nets or somebody, they wouldn't have won, but they probably would have played better.
More entertaining?
Because neither team played any defense. Even I think they played in the play-in game, those two, for the 8th or something seed. And Atlanta and them they were going back and forth. So I think Atlanta, they just came up against the wrong team, and they just see things that they need to work on. They need to get a couple more pieces, and Trey is going to have to figure some things out too with physicality and people up on him, how to be able to finagle and get his shots. But so they just, I didn't expect them to win. Kudos to my man Y. That's his team, Miami. He's die hard. So on to the next, man. That's a Heat team right there. That's a Pat Riley staple. Good defense.
Yep. It's all about the D. Way to go, Miami. Go home, Atlanta. That's how I feel. Quick, to the point.
Yep.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Real quick. So just looking at this year's playoffs, who's a better pick, Trae Young or Luka?
So who you want to go?
I
think.
Go ahead, Malcolm.
Luka all day. Luka, he brings that team and he develops that team. He puts them in good position to score. But with Luka faults comes his being in shape and him being healthy. The European players, they already said it in the past, they don't stay healthy for some reason. I mean, Dirk was a unicorn. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Dirk was a unicorn. But you have certain players that just can't stay healthy from the European players. I don't know if because of their regiment or their way they trained when they were younger. But hopefully, like you said, they're getting millions and millions of dollars. Invest in your body like LeBron James does. He invests $1 million a year in his body, whether it's, nutrition, getting in shape, running, trainer, everything. Get it out the way. Your body is your money. Like this right here, This makes my money, you know. So I can't use my body. This makes my money. So I got to use the money maker. Thank you, God.
I would take I would have to go with Luka right now, but if Trae Young could ever mature and figure it out, I would go with Trae Young.
Okay.
I think he could become more of a leader than Luka. I think Luka, as time goes on, he wears on people.
Okay.
So,
and I would go. I'm going Luka. Only thing I would say is Malcolm was saying, he's young right now.
Yeah.
But when he gets older, it's going to be harder to keep his body. He needs to get in shape now so he can have his body right for when he starts to get older. Because he looked a little on the heavy side. But, you know.
Looked like he had a burger and a milkshake.
Yeah. But I don't have a problem with Trey swag. I don't have a problem with that. I think he brings excitement to the game.
I like his confidence. I like his confidence.
So.
Guys, Timberwolves and Grizzly, Terry.
This series right here to me has been the most exciting series to watch so far. I think, what was it, last Saturday? I stayed up to 1:30 in the morning to watch them finish the game, and it was good all the way through.
Yeah.
It's just two young teams.
Until 1:30.
Great game.
1:30.
It was a good game.
Did they pick you up and take you to work the next day?
It was on a Saturday, so thank God the next day was Sunday.
I went to work the next day.
You be one of those guys in the janitor's closet, sleep at work.
I went to work the next day.
Where's Terry at?
Yeah. If it would have been back in the day, I just would have went straight to work and slept in the parking lot till it was time to go to work. But yeah, it's just, I mean, there's two young teams that they just been going at each other for 5 games now. I know like 4 of the 5 games have come down pretty much to the wire. Ja Morant's played great, Desmond Baines, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and even Patrick Beverly has played great, believe it or not. But this series, to me, it should have been over and won by the Timberwolves in 4 games. You know, they've blown some double-digit leads, and it's just with sloppy, inconsistent play, bad shot selections. I think the other night, Pat Beverly tried to score on a 1-on-3 fast break. So I still like the Wolves in this series, but for them to pull it out, 2 things have to happen for them. The coach needs to call timeouts, and when he sees his team kind of losing their composure, and they need to get D'Angelo Russell, he's got to step up. And like Brian was saying about who's the leader of the team, he has to step up and be the leader of this team. He's the veteran guy on the team, and he's just got to say, when they get out of control, he's got to settle them in their offense and get them into good sets. You know, so we'll see what happens, man. I hope it goes 7.
Malcolm.
Glad you said that, man. This was one of the most exciting series of so far this year. I mean, this was a great series, exciting all the way to the end. And Ja Morant is a special player. That so-called improved player, he didn't need that. He was already a superstar. To me, the improved player should have went to that kid Bane from Minnesota, or should have went to my man from the Suns. He had a good year also. My thing is, they balled out straight up. And this is a great game. You're seeing 2 young superstars in the making, because that kid Anthony Edwards on the other side on Minnesota and Karl Anthony Towns, the big cat, they're hitting big shots. They're hitting big shots. Listen, I ain't saying the defense is the greatest, but right now these kids are playing upper basketball when it comes to that level. They're playing playoff basketball. This is just a great series. I hate to see it end. And you know what else is awesome? To see the 2 dads sit next to each other in the stand.
Yeah, it is.
Ja Morant dad and the big cat, Karl Anthony Towns dad, sitting right next to each other, giving each other dab and love. See, they don't show enough about our black fathers today supporting our kids or any fathers, because always the mothers you see in the stands, right? Now you see two black fathers sitting together on the floor from the opposite team. That's what love is all about. Right there. That's basketball and training, showing what these fathers and these parents and all these kids put into their team like any other team. Nothing new. It's been done for years. You just don't see it out in the front. You know what I mean? They only talk about the single parent. So, I mean, unfortunate for some of those guys who do have single parents. I'm not beating that up, because it is. I grew up in a single parent home, but it is what it is. When you got that father figure who's there, who society claims that, we don't take care of our kids or be there for our kids, which is, some deserve, some not, but they don't see the big picture. Thank you, God, to see these young players exciting up the NBA. They're the future of the NBA right now. You're seeing the future right now. Listen, it's going to take a while for them to win, but I love seeing Ja. He's a superstar in the making. Oh, my God. He should forget improved play. He's MVP. That kid should be an MVP knowledge right there for the candidate right there. Great job, NBA.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm not going to say MVP, but I can't knock you for saying that, though, either. But as T said, this has definitely been one of the best series so far in the NBA. You got two young teams. They both got a little cockiness, a little edge, or young kids want to say swag, which is good. It's good for the NBA. As Malcolm was saying, you see their parents out there, or their fathers, and it's good to see that.
Please don't say the word swag. We'll hear that next week.
But it's a great game. Timberwolves definitely have the talent to compete. They just need a point guard. If Pat Bev is not the answer, as they say, when the close game and he's just out of control, if you put Chris Paul on that team, they'll probably win. They will go deep in the playoffs, because that's all they're missing right now is they need a good point guard. And as Terry also mentioned, because I had this down there too, D. Russ, I thought would be able to fill that role, but he's not. He's calming down and he's taking wild shots as well. He's not settling the team down. And he's been in the league long enough to know better where you need to get a good shot. And they're not doing it. But it's good to see. It's good competition. But Grizzlies, we'll see if they win it. See if they can close it out. Closeout game is the toughest.
Yes, it is.
Pelicans and Suns, Terry.
The Suns, to me, shouldn't even be in this position. Even with, I know Devin Booker is back tonight, but even with him being out those couple of games, they're a veteran team. They should know how to take care of business with a young team with the Pelicans. But I have to give the Pelicans credit. They're making the most out of this situation. They're harassing the Suns just enough to get, to a game 6. They have Chris Paul kind of losing his cool, getting technical fouls. Monty Williams is complaining to the refs. To me, tonight is a must win for them. If they go back to Phoenix for game 7, there's no guarantee, in my opinion, that they win it because they're at home. And the only thing worse than playing a team that has nothing to lose in the playoffs is a team that has nothing to lose, and now they believe they can win the playoff series. And that's where the Pelicans are right now. They really feel like they can beat the Suns in this series. So we'll see what happens.
Malcolm.
Ooh, I'm sorry, fellas. I just seen this trade in the draft. I shouldn't even say it, but I'm gonna say it. The Eagles just traded for AJ Brown.
Wow. Wide receiver?
Yes, for the 18th pick. And they got a third round. They gave him a third round with it. Wow. That just shook up the East right there. But as long as Dak's the best quarterback in the division, I'm good. Put me back on course, brother. What we talking about this right
here? Meanwhile, back to the show. Pelicans and the Suns, Malcolm.
Pelicans and Suns. Yo, let me say this right now. I mean, Booker's back in the game. and we know the Pelicans are playing great basketball. I mean, they're a young team. Man, Ingram is a true up-and-coming star, and he showed the Lakers should have never got rid of him. They shouldn't have got rid of him, Kuzma, or all of them. Those are role players right now, and we'd be doing great on the Lakers. But no, you had to go get Russell and spend $44 million, and this year, next year, and probably next year for him. You're done. You're absolutely done. The Lakers, matter of fact, I think LeBron might have sold his house in LA right now. You know they done. Because it ain't even worth it. Because you ain't getting nothing out there right now. Not as long as you got the arbitrage of that contract, which is the big killer. Because the dude shoots it at 18-foot jump shot over the backboard. And I ain't never seen that, which is crazy. I mean, he might need glasses or something. His contacts are broken or something. I mean, he got a prescription for that, you know?
We're down at the 15-minute warning.
Oh, yeah?
Brian.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say Phoenix should win this. Chris Paul probably handle his business, hopefully. But as Malcolm, I'm going to say, Brandon Ingram is growing up in front of our eyes. He was a star. Next year, we see if he can just build off of what he's doing now and turn into a complete superstar, because Phoenix had nobody that can D him, and he almost looked like another level of KD with the height, the dribbling. So just see what he can do off of that. Aaron.
There's nothing more to say. This should be, I don't know what the coach Monty's thinking, because he's coming off as an inexperienced coach, and
you think so?
The guard, yeah.
Why?
Because you've got to be able to keep the ship cool. Hey guys, let's just go out there and do our job. Forget about the officials. You can't get into an arguing match with the officials. You will never win. Keep your mouth shut and do your job. That's it.
I think you underestimate the talent on the Pelicans.
No, I don't underestimate it. But the thing about it is, you've got a veteran team, and you've got to be able to say, okay, we've been here before. Guys, let's do what we have to do. Now, Chris Paul getting technical fouls and stuff, wait a minute. You're supposed to be the leader. Because if the veteran leadership is doing that, then what are the young guys going to do? They're going to follow him. But I'll move on. Dallas and Utah. Terry.
Win or lose this series, you won't see the same Utah team on the floor next year. They should have taken care of business when Luka was out the first two games. Instead, they gave Dallas the confidence that they can win this series. And now Luka's back. And Utah, honestly, they don't have anyone that can stop him defensively. I mean, it's so bad that he's getting in the paint and scoring over Rudy Gobert with pump fakes. So this is a must win for the Jazz tonight in Utah. And even if they do, I don't think they can beat the Mavericks in a closeout game out in Dallas. So I think that the Mavericks close it out in Dallas, Game 7.
Malcolm.
Dude, Luka's a truth. I mean, Spider-Man is gone. They're going to wind up trading him. They're going to fleece the Knicks for whatever they got, to get him over there in New York. I mean, if the Knicks are smart, they gotta invest in this kid, because he's a true up-and-coming superstar, or one of the superstars of the game, Yeah, he's right. This ain't the same Utah team you're going to see, because they got no defense. Their coach don't even coach defense. So it is what it is. All they got is run it to Rudy Gobert, and he'll block it, and you guys can run the other way. They have no perimeter defense whatsoever. So, and they're basically making it on their talents alone. So just say goodbye to what you see of the Utah Jazz, because they're going to break that team up, because they're not going to be the same no more. Good call, T.
Yep.
Brian.
Yep. And I will say that too. This is do or die for Utah. They got lucky. It was that game. Was that 3 or 4? I can't even remember. bucket, but they got no answer for Luka, as Terry said. And as Malcolm also said, they play no defense. They want Rudy to D the perimeter. They want him to D the paint. I'm like, you can't do it all. Like, damn it, Mitchell, you got to go out there and you're getting 30 points, but you're giving up 25 to Brunson. So I'm like, that's a wash. So it's not doing anything. So
it sounds like your boy plays for the Lakers.
Who? Anthony?
No.
Who?
Oh man, he plays for the Lakers. I can see his face. Come back to me.
He don't play no defense.
You got it.
I don't know about Carmelo Anthony.
You got it.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
I said Anthony.
Hey, bro, man, Carmelo like 57 years old, man. How much he is? Leave him
right.
alone. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Get off Hall of Famers,
I'll
man.
move right to Philadelphia and Toronto. Terry, please.
Well, the 2018 most valuable player, 10-time All-Star, 3-time scoring champion, James Harden, please stand up. Because he hasn't been doing it in this series. I think they closed it out. Last I looked at the score, it seemed that the game seemed to be out of control, and I think Philly was going to close it out. But I don't know what's going on with James Harden. I mean, he's only 32, but it seemed like over the past year he's aged like 10 years. He just doesn't seem to have that same bounce in his step like he used to. He's not getting to the rim. I don't know where his patented step back jumper is. And Toronto, I give them credit. They weren't a team that was expected to win this series, but they came out and they played hard. But I'll tell you what, if the 76ers, anything less than a conference final, their season is going to be just as much as a failure as Brooklyn, my opinion.
Mm-hmm. We're under 10 minutes. Malcolm.
Yeah, Philadelphia's done in the next series. They just advanced on, along with Phoenix. Phoenix advanced on also. So they get to rest their player because they need Book. Book did play today in limited, time, but Sixers not making to the conference finals. I don't care who they play. They ain't making the conference finals. They just don't have enough.
Yeah, they should win this series. They're a better team. So that's that. As what Terry was saying, Harden looked like his body is breaking down. Personally, you got to be in shape for when you get older, because when Father Time hits you, it's going to hit you hard. That's why I had on a hoodie today, because I was working out before, hit the treadmill, try to do it 4 times a week so I can have ice cream on the weekend. Can't have it every day, just have it one time. So,
that's gonna catch up to you soon.
Yeah.
Guys, Golden State, Denver, Terry, give it to me quick, please.
Denver played hard. They were just overmatched by a superior Warriors team. Steph was Steph. Jordan Poole's a cheat code. It's kind of unfair, and Wiggins was hitting some big shots in the series.
Thanks, bro.
So it was just a bad first round matchup for the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm. Malcolm.
That 3-guard rotation with Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's the X factor. People always talk about the superstars, and I always say, the Klay Thompsons and of course the Curry. They're gonna get theirs. Jordan Poole is the X factor that nobody count for. And he's one of those, just like with Minnesota. Nobody counts for that kid, Bane. Bane is balling.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
You got to count for the X factor. You ain't going to stop the superstars. You can hope to contain them. But if you don't stop them guys on the bench or them secondary guys who hitting them shots, you're in trouble. Good job. They ain't got enough. So thank you.
Brian.
Since I know we short on time, I'll just say congratulations to Golden State moving on. Feel bad for the Joker because he was playing with a deck of cards. He had no aces, no kings, no queens, no nothing. He had nothing.
Good
He
call,
was,
man. I like that.
Yeah.
So he's the only one out there.
Playing with a loaded deck.
Yeah. So
I'm going to give this last one to Terry. Chicago and Milwaukee.
Again, much like the Golden State Denver series, Chicago was just overmatched against a strong defensive team. Plus throwing the fact that they had no answer. Chicago had no answer for Giannis or Bobby Portis, who's just bombing away from the 3-point line. So, Bulls got to regroup next year, get healthy, and then take it from there. The East is tough, though.
Yep.
It's not a walk in the park now like it used to be.
Big up to Drazen.
Now, Malcolm, what is
DeRozan? I'm sorry. DeRozan had a great year.
Yep.
So big up to DeRozan. I mean, he tried to lift that team up like he did. That's where the Lakers failed. The Lakers should have got DeRozan, and they blew that. So great job, DeRozan. He just couldn't do it by himself.
Yep.
Man, what you had to say, brother?
Well, the pick is in for the Steelers, and they're at a commercial. But Malcolm, what is under your what do you hope for the Cowboys to have under their Christmas tree?
Well, all the players are gone. The ones that I wanted, the 2 offensive linemen, gone.
That's called winning your division.
Yeah, that's just it. They're gone. So, the best player available. Hopefully, they can get either an offensive lineman or a pass rusher. If that kid Linderbaum is there at center, I'll take him.
So you want another pass rusher to take over for what's the name?
I would love a pass rusher.
Gregory?
Well, Gregory, people don't realize Gregory only had 10 sacks in his career. My boy had 11 sacks last year in 1 year. No. Goodbye.
Terry.
I'm hoping my Niners can pick up hoping they could get no, I'm not worried about quarterback.
You got one they picked last year.
We'll see how that plays out for us, but I'm hoping that they could either get a corner or maybe a sleeper at wide receiver as well. With all these rumors floating out there.
Okay.
About Deebo Samuel. So,
Brian.
Well, who did the Steelers take in that first round? Did you say
nobody yet?
Oh, they on the clock.
Yet.
So I don't know if what's name's up there, but I'm looking for Pickett or Willis, quarterback. I'm not sure if Willis is still on the board. I know Pickett is still up there. So
all quarterbacks are there.
Oh, both of them?
All of them.
Ooh.
Not one quarterback has been picked.
Wow. So you got the choice.
You
I'll take one. I kind of like Pickett better though, man. I think he's more readier than what's the name. But who would you take? Where?
I think Pittsburgh's going with Pickett because of the offensive coordinator. Because he has past history with him.
Yeah.
I think Malik was just a smoke screen.
He's talented though. He's talented, man.
He's short too.
He's talented. I ain't gonna say that. So if they take either one, I'll be happy with either one. Honestly, I didn't know if either one of them was gonna be there.
It should be interesting. Roger Goodell is not going to call it. I think he's going to let Franco call it.
All right.
But boy, just tell me the pick, please. Just get it over with.
Getting a little bonus coverage, people. Bonus coverage.
NFL draft.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to miss Big Ben. 20-something years of him playing.
I know. Ice cream. We can't get here quick enough. Ice cream. Who did they take? Let's see.
Who's the pick?
Drum roll, please.
Franco Harris.
How old is Franco?
Harris has got to be in his
70s?
No, I would say late 60s.
Yeah, okay.
But it's seeing him on that stage, he's looking like Father Time's catching up with him.
Catches up with all of us. Shoot.
Young folks.
Shoot.
Immaculate reception.
Yeah.
Shoot. Look that up.
Doctor is telling me, I was like, Doc, how the numbers look? They don't look good. Like, yo, come on.
Need ice cream alone.
Yeah.
Need ice cream alone.
Wow. He's 72 years old.
I said 70. I said that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, give yourself some ice cream.
Yeah.
Got your quarterback.
Who they
You got
take?
your quarterback. Pick it. You called the big man.
Yeah.
They took him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took him.
Good call.
Yeah. And that's why I think he's more readier to play, but he still should sit. But I think he's more.
He's going to sit. He's not going to start.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But if he win the starting job, you got to give it to him.
No, he's not going to win it.
So
Where did Big Ben come out of?
Big Ben came out of
Ohio.
Miami of Ohio.
Miami, Ohio.
Miami,
Right?
Ohio.
Okay.
Miami of Ohio.
And the funny thing was, when Big Ben was one of the scouts went there to see him, said, okay, throw the football, and it was raining and windy. And Big Ben started throwing missiles in the rain and the wind. Scout said, okay, thank you. He got on the phone and he called the brass and said, I don't know who you guys are thinking about getting in the first round, but you better get this kid. And believe it or not, Bill Cowher did not want to get Big Ben. He wanted to get an offensive lineman. Art Rooney stepped in and said, no, you're taking the quarterback. And the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the accuracy on this kid.
I can't believe he dropped that.
He dropped that far. The first quarterback got picked at 20?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he
I
got
said that too. I
got
said that.
athleticism.
I don't think there was going to be
Wow.
quarterbacks that were going to go top 10.
You did say that.
You did
T.
call it,
Yeah,
T.
you
You
did.
did say that, T.
Yeah.
Now, if this kid makes it in the NFL, and some of the teams didn't take a quarterback, a la the Saints, Falcons,
Yep.
Yeah.
Carolina,
Yep.
Yeah.
good luck.
Eagles.
No, leave the Eagles alone.
Giants.
You could say the Giants.
Giants.
Yep. Washington.
I don't know why they didn't take one. I don't know what their reason is for that.
I think what basically these scouts are saying, none of these kids
Ready to start right away.
ready to start didn't impress them, and they're waiting until next year.
Yeah.
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 But you can lose your job by then.
Yeah, that's
But guys, great show.
Yep.
And we look for everybody, please, to come
Whoa.
out.
Keep in mind, Kansas City just traded up to the 21 pick.
They did trade it up.
Yes, they did.
They probably want a wide receiver.
They
Think on wide
want
receiver.
something.
Oh,
They
this
need a
is-
wide receiver.
this is-
Terry,
Who's out
tell them
there?
tell them about that subscribe button, please.
Yeah, who's up there that they're gonna move up
I
for?
want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight and who listened in.
Mhm.
Be sure to check out the episode on YouTube when you get a chance. Check it out at work, on your way to work, on your way back home from work.
Yes.
You check it at
Just
work.
wanna,
I didn't say
yeah, you can check it at work. You know, do that on your lunch break. You know, or put your earbuds in, just cover them up. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight, and we'll be back next week for number 50, our 50th episode.
50.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Thank
we
you.
got and
5-0.
we got surprises
5-0.
what guys will be wearing for their 50th episode. So tune in next week and see. Maybe you don't want to see what they're wearing, but maybe they might have something.
All right.
Brian,
Good night,
hit the music,
everyone.
please. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Take it
God
easy.
bless the people in
Good
Ukraine.
night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.